afternoon and welcome to the Betting Connection podcast. My name's Chris. I'm here with my co-host Rob. How are you doing today, Rob?
Hi, Chris. I'm doing fine. Lovely day today. So,
Yeah,
some nice bets coming up, some nice matches coming up this weekend. So, definitely looking forward to having the second episode.
yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. I heard a rumor that the Betting Connection recorded its first ever podcast last week. Can you confirm, Rob, if that rumor is true? And if it is, how did it make
Yeah.
you feel?
Yes, it is true. It's kind of strange, to be honest. I really like it so far. I like that you have to put a little bit more effort in it. You take another look at some bets. Maybe you have to be a little bit more certain, I think. You want to do a good job and you want to have the listeners to have some good picks as well. So you're just going over it a little bit more, and I liked it. We had a very good start of the episode, first time. And I had a good weekend myself as well, betting wise. So lovely. How did you like it?
Well, other than the fact of having to listen to one's own voice, is always a little bit, yeah, I hate the sound of my voice. But once you get over that, I actually very much enjoyed recording it with you last week. And as you said, it does make you just a little bit more in depth. You know, we've got our, I suppose, our methods when we're making picks. We've done, as we said last week, we've got a history of doing a lot of bets in the bookmakers over many years. But it did just make a little bit more intense in terms of the research, and obviously it worked because if anyone did listen to our podcast last week, they would have got a fair bit of profit because we did make 8 official picks, 7 of which were winners.
Woo!
So yeah, me and you both had a very nice weekend, and anyone else listening would have done so also. And I would like to thank the people that did listen. We were very surprised and yeah, very grateful for the people in several different countries that did download and listen to the podcast. Hopefully that you backed us and made the bets and won a little bit of money.
Yes, lovely. And I even saw that we got a comment as well in the section. So keep that going. We love to hear from you, and we love the feedback, and we really appreciate it. So yeah, lovely.
Yeah, I mean we're in the early stages here, of course. But look, we need your support, guys. So yeah, look, let's do this together and start a beautiful journey. The the basic setup of our podcast is we're just gonna always touch a little bit on the previous week. On the bets that we picked, the bets that we won, the bets that let us down, but also just a general overview of the weekend. Any teams that, jumped off the page with good performances, anyone that surprised us, let us down, etc. So we're always going to start off the podcast with a bit of a recap before going into this weekend's games where we have picks or leans. And then later on in the podcast, we have a bit of fun with a quick fire round, which is basically picking the game of the day on Saturday, game of the day Sunday, for us to have a little bit of fun with the correct score line and goal scorer, followed by our student ACCA and our big gun ACCA, which our big gun ACCA was a winner last week. Correct, Rob?
Yes, that was a lovely winner. As I mentioned in the podcast before, like it's always a bit scary to play the big favorites because they are mostly very short on odds. But yeah, I actually heard there's a fun fact for you, is that the Dutch people play the most ACCAs out of all the people that are betting around Europe. So we definitely like our ACCAs over here in Holland. So we always love to make it a little bit more dangerous. We like to add a different parlay or make it like a fun bet out of it. And this time it worked, and so we're gonna keep continue having that big ACCA, big gun ACCA.
Big ACCA, yeah, the big gun ACCA. The big gun ACCA last week came in at 4.21. So even though, we're back in heavy favourites, when you put them all together, that is more than 3 times your money. So absolutely fantastic. That is an interesting fact. Why do you think that is, Rob? Do you think, because I think you told me before that betting in Holland generally is a bit more of a recent thing. Is that correct?
Yes, I think like back in the days when I started out betting, I always had to find little loophole to get into the betting websites across the border because yeah the Dutch the Holland government didn't allow it, but since recent years I think 2 years ago they started it's okay for betting websites to it's legal for people to bet in Holland. There's a I think there's a lot of going on in the next coming years because yeah, you always have to watch out. There's also a lot of losers, and so yeah, always gamble responsible. That's what they're really trying to look out for now. So we'll see in the next years how that's going to change. But for now, it's actually yeah, a lot of people are picking up on sports betting in Holland. So yeah, lovely.
Good, good. Yeah, maybe the Accas, because that's always a fun thing to start with. As we said, with our own betting background, you always start with those student Accas. A couple of euros on the big win. So maybe there's a bit more of that. Maybe in other countries it's taken a bit more seriously these days. But you can't overestimate the fun of an ACCA as long as it's bet responsibly as you mentioned.
Yeah, and the
But
way
going
I
back.
do it is that I cut it down. Like I start like sometimes with all the picks for the whole weekend, and then I put like €5 or €10 on it. And then when I take another look at the list, then I find like the risky matches that I don't really like, and I start erasing them from my bet slip. And then eventually it gets shorter and shorter, and then I find the picks that I really like. For me that's a way of if you have like a lot of matches and you don't know which one you prefer. I like to way to build it up like that, and then I will finally find the ones that I truly love, and then sometimes I put them in like a single bet or maybe a double bet to get it about even odds. I think that's still the best strategy when it comes to sports betting.
Yeah, I think strategy is key with betting. I think that combinations is everything, and I think there is luck with that. But I think yeah, mixing and matching is a good strategy. Try and give yourself as much opportunity to win. So if you're picking 8, 9, 10 teams and you're getting 70% of them correct, you should still be profitable if you mix and match enough to make the odds work for you and to make sure that you're not losing money when you're predicting more winners and losers. And I think that's the key. And it is difficult. And that's what we and me and you we still talk about on a daily basis. How we're going to combine this, how we're going to mix and match. And I think that's important because
And keep
the
track of
main
your
thing
results.
to
It's
not lose.
always important to keep track of the results, and then you can
Yeah.
see if you're like winning on those AKAs, or are you more winning on your singles or on your doubles. So we always advise to keep track of your bettings, of your bets.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, going back to last week's podcast and those infamous 7 out of 8 picks, and we're not, and out of those picks, for those that didn't hear them, we're not talking 1.2s, 1.3s that anyone can pick. These were all solid bets between kind of 1.75 and over. So we're talking about singles, doubles, anything you wanted to combine them with to make it work. My favorite pick of yours last weekend was the one that you actually kicked the weekend off with. Was the Friday night game with Bayer Leverkusen, and you bet Bayer Leverkusen to win plus over 2.5 goals, and that came in at 2.1. I was a little bit scared of that match because of it being a derby, but you liked it, you followed through, and you picked a winner.
Yes, Leverkusen done it again. They keep the streak continuing, as I said in the last podcast. They always score in the last couple minutes of the game. This time it
It's
was Wirtz.
incredible.
He even missed the penalty kick, but he got it in the rebound. And we even had a cover bet on because they were leading 2-0. So we thought that it's always smart to place a little cover bet on the draw. So we actually already made our money back on it, but it was still lovely to have, still great to have the win there. Wirtz got the goal. We talked about him as last week as well. I think he's the best player of Leverkusen. He's the true key player there. So I was really happy to get that one through. Now looking at yours, you also made your great debut, as I talked you up last week about your championship knowledge. I really like the championship double. Can you say a little bit about that one?
Well, yeah, I mean, you put it on me, telling me how good I was at lower league English football. Lower league English football it can be very random, so no pressure at all last week. But yeah, like I did pick out two in Blackburn and Watford. Obviously, I had my reasons for that last week, and they both came out at very good odds. I think one was about 1.75 and one was best part 1.9. So yeah, they were good singles. Championship, generally speaking, you get good value in the lower leagues. It can be random, but yeah, if you can see the ones that you think are jump off the page, can give you good value, then yeah, go for it. Pick them singles, doubles. You can make some good money in it. But I am very selective. Like this weekend, for example, I'm not touching the lower leagues. Just nothing there yet for me. There's not enough games being played this season to pick up real trends and forms. So look, I'll stay away when I stay away, and when I see something, I'll go quite hard on it. But yeah, very happy with those picks last week.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So last week, just generally, then, like obviously we talked a little bit about the picks. We've got we can speak a bit more about that going forward as well, because both our bets of the week won last week, so we'll cover that later. But just generally speaking, last weekend, was there anyone that stood out for you? There was a bet or a team that you were worried about that actually followed through and did you proud, or was there a team that disappointed you? What was your general feeling of last weekend in football?
General feeling about football is that if I watched the Dutch league as well, and you
Yeah.
saw another slip up of one of the big teams there, Feyenoord, they got a draw against it was a derby, so both teams were from Rotterdam. They played against Sparta and they didn't get the job done. That's what I really, I already was a little bit scared of that match, so I stayed away from that one. You never know.
Hmm.
Feyenoord just changed their coach. Slot went to Liverpool, and now they have a new coach, Prisk. He's playing a new system, not playing the new system, changing the goalkeeper, not changing the goalkeeper. A few transfers have not gone through for Feyenoord. So it is a little bit unstable, or it looks unstable at the moment. And you see in Holland as well, there's a lot of rumors about transfers, a lot of big teams looking to pick up players from Feyenoord, looking up to pick up players from Ajax and BSV as well. So
Mm.
yeah, there's a lot going on in Holland. Did you find anything
Yeah.
this week?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Feyenoord, because I did have a bet on Sunday that involved. I think it was Sunday they played Feyenoord. But I did have a bet involving them, and they did let me down. So they are nearly on the naughty list. I normally have two in a row strikes when teams end up on my naughty list a bit early in the
That's
season
good, the
to have
naughty
them yet.
list.
There's a couple close. There is a couple close already. But no, generally speaking, obviously I watch mostly the Premier League in terms of in terms of just viewing purposes. I bet on all of Europe, but in terms of watching heavily, it's mostly Premier League and the Spanish La Liga. Um, but the Premier League, yeah, I mean, Man United conceding the last minute goal to lose. I mean, I just don't know what to make of them really. In one way, they look like they're a bit better, a bit more solid, and then in another way, they still come our way with a last minute defeat. So I don't know what to make of Man United still. Chelsea, I mean, first half was typical Chelsea, and then second half they blew Wolves away. I just again, I think it's badly run. I'm not 100% sure of the leadership, the ownership in that club at the moment, and but they are a concern. Like they could be dangerous. I mean, as the old expression goes, if you throw enough shit at the wall, something will stick. And they just got so much there, so many players, and there are a lot of good players there. If you can get it together and put a team out, I mean, they could be a team worth looking and betting at if they kind of get a little run together, because they're not going to have the odds of like Man City and Arsenal being as short. So you might find some good value if they pick up a bit of form. But they're the one team I'm not sure which way it's going to go. What's your feeling on Chelsea? Any thoughts?
Yeah, Chelsea, lot of players, and I don't know what they are doing out there. And they are changing the game a little bit by handing out those contracts for 7, 8, 9 years. I don't not sure what to make of it. If you look at the team, as I said, a lot of players means a lot of problems for the coach. So he must manage them very well. So yeah, yeah, definitely. I think I heard rumors that he's putting out two different teams. So it's one who's playing in Europe and one playing in the league. So yeah, definitely could be a way to make use of more players. But I'm not sure if like if you show up on Saturday or Sunday and you've been left out of the squad, how you will handle that in during several months of time. So yeah, definitely one. I like that you said they have higher odds, and they definitely have a little bit more value if they come into a good form. So definitely pay good attention. Score 6 goals in the Premier League in one match. It's not an easy thing to do. So you definitely quality there. Okay, so I think that's on to the next section. We're going to the previews. We talked about it last time. I think we made the decision to divide it by country. So first up is England. Chris, did you find any particular matches that you liked in England?
I I am actually staying away from England in general. I mentioned earlier that I'm not liking anything in the lower leagues. There's nothing stands out massively in the Premier League either for me. Okay. I think there are two very good value bets. I'm not going to have them as official picks, but I will just have a quick a talk on these two fixtures. So I've got West Ham versus Man City. Okay. Um,
Yes.
Obviously, yeah, you don't need to be the best tipster in the world to predict Man City to win at a weekend. And look, as we mentioned, we want to try and give a bit better odds on our picks. But I do think at 1.42 for a Man City win. Okay, so away at West Ham. West Ham have danger all over the pitch, but they already lost at home to Villa this season. Man City have won 17 out of the last 20 matches against West Ham. I think at 1.42, you've got to be using that in a double or an ACCA. You have to be taking advantage of Man City at favourable odds.
I think so as too. I think that that's true. Manchester City, I saw a fun fact as well that they didn't lost a league match in 10 years at West Ham. So
Bloody hell.
that's a long time. And as you said,
Yeah,
for those odds, it's definitely worth for your fun ACCA or your student ACCA to get it in, or maybe make it like a double with another match. You have another match that you want to talk about on
yeah,
Wednesday?
and yeah, and you could actually make that double with this match actually, because the odds work out nicely to make it a decent double of about 2.4. And that match is the Leicester City versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa are 1.73 to win this as a single. And like I say, if you want to double it up with that Man City game, that could make a nice little bet. Aston Villa were very good against Arsenal. Let's get that clear right away. They were extremely competitive. It was actually a very competitive match. I think they both gave a little bit too much respect in the beginning, but it was decent, of decent quality. And I do think Aston Villa are going to have another good season. Leicester, we still don't know too much about them. But I'm not predicting a great season for them, and I think they're going to be in a relegation fight. So at 1.73 for a Villa win here, I do think that they are good odds. Do you have any comments on this match, or should we move on to your first official pick?
We can continue to my first pick, my first
Which
choice.
is actually you mentioned England, but we'll keep it under the umbrella of United Kingdom because your first official pick comes under Scotland. And what would that pick be, Rob?
Yes, I actually we went there last week as for the bet of the week. I went there and I want to mention it again this week. It's Aberdeen to beat Ross County. As I talked about Aberdeen before, they won 6 games in a row. After last weekend, they made it to 7. Ross County had a tough weekend last weekend, losing 6-0 against Rangers, 6-0. I mean 6-0.
Yeah.
And they yeah, I can't say 0, right? It's nil in England.
6-0.
Otherwise,
6-0 in England, 6-0.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I even saw that they lost against Spartans. I really like the name of the football club, but Ross County lost against Spartans, and they lost in the League Cup 1-0, and Spartans is actually playing in League Two, so they have not a good thing going. I think at even odds or a little bit above evens, Aberdeen is again a great shout. Maybe this is one of the teams that I'm really liking in the beginning of the season. I don't want to jinx it now, but I like Aberdeen in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see this one coming last week when you named this your bet of the week. When you explained why, I was like, oh my God, I'm all over that. And I did. I was all over it and it came in. Yeah, they're on fire. They've started this season on absolute fire, Aberdeen. As you mentioned, Ross County got spanked 6-0 last weekend. Aberdeen have actually won the last won 5 out of the last 6 meetings against Ross County, and the one they didn't win, Aberdeen had 10 men. So the record is looking favourable. Aberdeen are on fire. Ross County just got a spanking. Even money, I think it's a solid bet.
I think that number would definitely go down closer to kickoff. Must be. Other people must find this bet as well.
Yeah, I think this is very, very good value at even money, I have to say. And your next pick also is in Scotland as well, and the big one, the Old
The
Firm.
big one, the Old Firm derby. Yes, all lovely matches. Always good to watch. Love the atmosphere down there. It's amazing. I think yeah, it's the match, I think, also well known all over the world. People watch this match, even if they don't watch Scottish football. Celtic Rangers is something and to look forward to. This year, Brendan Rodgers does a great start, had a great start with Celtic. Celtic is playing some good football. I think they were champions last year, and they did some extra signings. They even got better. Rangers lost a couple of players, also got a few new ones, but they're not like last weekend they won 6-0. But I'm still like Celtic, even at 1.6, I found Celtic to win. What do you think about Celtic Rangers?
I haven't got much to say other than Celtic look good and Rangers look poor. So logically
Yeah.
speaking, I think your pick's a sound one. Rangers, I think it was quite close last season up until the end of the last season. I think the class of Celtic showed in the end, and this season even more so. I remember seeing an interview from Brendan Rodgers at the start of the season, and he looked like a man on a mission to win that treble in Scotland this year. I don't doubt it. I just think that, yeah, they just look at a different level at the moment to Rangers. And I think is it 1.6 the odds on this one, Rob?
Yeah, 1.6. Maybe with Manchester City, you can add the both together. Could be a
Yeah.
nice
So look,
little bit
yeah,
above evens
that,
as well.
yeah, that could be a nice little double there as well. So yeah, look, I'm happy with your 2 picks there in Scotland. I will definitely be following you on both of those. So that's
Okay,
it for the UK. That's it for the
on to
UK.
Italia.
Italia. Okay, and we've got what we got. We've got one match in Italia. What's the game on this, and is it an official pick?
Juventus versus Roma. Big game again. Normally, I don't like to be betting on those big games because I think it's hard to, definitely not on a winner. Like if it's a draw, definitely in Italy or like between the big teams, it's mostly a draw. But this time I'm looking at Juventus to take home the points. Juventus started off great. Motta is the new coach. Roma started off slowly, even though I thought they were gonna go into it like a little bit of a better season because De Rossi now, like the coach of Roma is De Rossi, and now he has time to set up the team. Had like to work with them in the summer, but they started off very poorly, getting losses and a draw. I think was it a draw? Maybe you know that.
Roma have started off with they've only got 1 point. They played Cagliari and Empoli, and they've only got 1 point out of their first two matches.
Yeah, they lost.
So yeah, so I think they lost last week, and yeah, it's not looking great for them at the moment.
And Juventus, on the other hand, is looking a lot better. I think I didn't expect them to hit the ground running this time already, but yeah, looking promising.
Well,
Vlahovic got his
you
goals.
Juve, yeah, they look for me as well. This is a team, Juve, probably over the years have cost me more money than any other team. I think if I was to pick one team out, um, they
Oh,
were
baby.
they were on my naughty list all of last season, man. But I've already won a couple of times with them this season, and they do look okay. They've also got a good record against Roma at home as well. They've won 4 of the last 6 games between the two at home. And as you say, they've got off to a quicker start under the new manager than you probably would have thought. They look a little bit different this season, and I think that at the moment they're probably going to be my pick. I know Inter, but I've got a feeling that it might be Juve's season this year.
Wow, that's I didn't look at the outrights for the season, but that could be worth a shot. We're gonna look it up for next time.
Yeah,
Look
definitely.
how they do this
And just to,
weekend, and then let's see.
yeah, let's see if they win this one. I think it's definitely worth looking at. Just to confirm this, guys, this is a pick from both of us. We both like this one, and we both put this down as an official pick at 1.73.
Okay, on to the next country, France.
That's
Viva la
right.
France!
Yeah, yeah. You've got one pick here. I've got two.
You
Should
go
we start
first.
with your one? You want me to go first? Okay, I'll start with my two picks here then. I have got a Brest to win versus Saint Etienne. I'm sure I'm doing that absolute. If there's any French people listening, I'm sorry. But yeah, Brest to beat Saint Etienne. Yeah, I just again looking for value here. Brest at home 1.75. They've had a hard start to the season. They've played Marseille and Lens so far. So they've not got off to the greatest start, but mainly because of who they're playing. Okay. Saint Etienne are back in the league. Obviously don't know too much about them. But Brest had an amazing season last year. They finished third. They were second for near enough the whole season. I'm not expecting them to repeat that this year, but we're not talking about a team that have lost all their players. I think they're good enough to beat a newly promoted team. 1.75. They have got a good record against Saint Etienne as well. They've won 4 out of the last 6, including the last 3 matches they've played against each other. Fair enough, that has been 3 or more years ago, due to the fact they haven't been in the same league. But even still, I like to go on records between matches. And then, yeah, I'm putting this down as a pick. Brest at home, 1.75.
The stat man.
The
Stat man coming with a
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
pick.
my nerdy side's already coming out. And I said that wouldn't come out till later in the season, but lo and behold, here we are. So that's the first pick in France for me. And the second pick for me is a team that let me down last weekend, and that team is Marseille.
You're going
I'm
back
expecting.
again?
Oh, they let us down, didn't they, on our double on Sunday? But anyway, look,
Yep.
This is a team I'm expecting a good season. I think they're going to challenge this year. They've bought well. They've got some good players, and they should have won last weekend. They have basically they've just got a great record as well. Again, going back to statistics between teams, they haven't lost in the last 12 matches against Toulouse. They've won 4 out of the last 5 away matches. Toulouse have started the season with draws against Nantes and Nice. I just think, again, you're getting value here. 1.91 for the Marseille win away from home. But with that great record and the fact that I just think they're a much better team, it seems silly not to pick them, really.
Okay, sounds good.
Moving on to your one, Rob, because you have got one. This is one I looked at as well. Monaco versus Lens. What is your pick here?
My pick is Monaco to beat Lens for 1.85. Monaco is started off the season great. Had some impressive wins in the friendlies. I know we don't really talk about friendlies, but they continued that start in the Ligue 1. If you look at Lens, they also started off great, but for the exception that they have to play in Europe. And I think they're playing in Greece tonight. Tonight it's Thursday. And then they have to play on Sunday in Monaco. They already played a couple of matches in Europe as well. So I think it's a good value for Monaco. Like they impressed. I think they beat in the friendly, they beat Barcelona 3-0. So for 1.85, almost close to evens, I think it's worth a shot. I take Monaco for the win.
Yeah, I think it's a sound bet. I looked at this as well. I think Lens are a solid team. I think they're more dangerous, Lens, when they're playing at home. So yeah, Monaco being at home, I think is a good bet. I stayed away from being an official pick here, but it was definitely a lean of mine. Something I found on this match as well that I thought was quite interesting. There have been 5 red cards in the last 5 matches between these two teams.
Wow.
Okay. That's averaging 1 a game. I think there was 4 out of the 5 there were cards, and in one of the match there was 2 in the same match. But either way, it must be a spicy match for that to be, a regular thing. So I was trying to look at the card market. Unfortunately, I tried several different bookies here to find card markets on this game, and I couldn't get the same kind of card market that I could get on other big matches. But what I did thought was a fairly interesting shout is a penalty to be scored in the match at 3.0. If it's spicy, a lot of red cards, maybe there's a penalty. And a penalty to be scored, you can get odds of 3.0. I thought that would be quite a fun play.
Yeah, that's a fun play. We'll definitely look out for cards then. Maybe you find it online.
Yeah, exactly. If you can find online a cards market that can get you something around the even money, I would take it on.
Okay.
What we got next, Rob?
Yeah, I just want to tell that like the Monaco bet I like, but if you look at like the Aberdeen bet, I would definitely recommend that more. So if you want to put it which one do you prefer? If it comes close, I would definitely go for the Aberdeen match, because not only I see value there, I also really think, looking at form, that they're going to win. And if I look at the Monaco match, I also think it's a good value. When you take into account maybe Lens get a little bit fatigued and they have to go away from home again. Monaco can prepare for 7 days. So it's like in the picking order, I would rather pick Aberdeen than Monaco.
Yeah.
But still Monaco for the win.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, next section, the quick fire round. You want to introduce the quick fire round?
Yeah, the quick fire round is that we pick the what we perceive to be the game of the day on a Saturday and the game of the day on a Sunday. And we just have a quick 30 seconds each just to briefly comment on it. And we're going to go for a scoreline prediction and an anytime goal scorer. So last week we had Aston Villa versus Arsenal, which I got the Arsenal win correct, but none of us got the goal scorers. And we also had Atletico Madrid, which, to be honest, I was about 30 seconds away from getting that correct at 2-0. It ended up 3-0 in literally the last minute, I think, 97 minutes or something like that. So, so nearly got that one correct. But either way, I got both teams to win correctly. You went for the draw on Arsenal. But this weekend, we have the Saturday. You could argue that, there's another big game on that day, but I like this one as a standout. It's our friends Bayer Leverkusen versus Red Bull Leipzig. Do you want to go first with your 30 seconds?
Okay, I will go first this time. So, okay, you say go?
Yeah, go.
Leverkusen, Leipzig. A lot of attacking potential on the field. Great. If you look at Leverkusen, always scores a lot of goals. Leipzig likes to attack a lot as well. Bundesliga, a lot of goals. I think a lot of goals going to be scored. I'm not picking the obvious one. I'm not not going for the Leverkusen goal scorer, but for a Leipzig goal scorer. I'm going for Sesko. 2-2. It's going to be a draw, 2-2. And you can play that 30-1.
Okay, you've just stolen my goal scorer.
Oh,
So, you've just stolen my goal scorer, but it's okay. I've got another one in the tank, I think.
you can choose the same one. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. All right. Anyway, right, I shall go, and I will go now. Okay, so I've got big hopes of Leipzig this season. I think they're going to have a good season. I think they're going to challenge. Betting against Leverkusen is a silly thing to do. They just don't know when they're beaten. It's ridiculous. The amount of last minute equalizers, winners, it's just getting ridiculous now to the point where it's not coincidence. But I do fancy Leipzig. Leipzig do actually have a good record against Leverkusen, although Leverkusen have won the last 2 matches. So I'm going to call it even, and I'm going to go 1-1, and I'll go I'll go Openda to score the goal for Leipzig.
Okay. Both like the draw. I'm always scared, as I thought before, to bet at these kind of matches. But for a little fun play, and when you watch the match, because it's a good game to watch, I would, I'm definitely gonna put on a little bet just on our picks, just to see how it plays out.
Yeah, 1-1, just for that then. 1-1 is 8.0 in the bookie, so 7-1 or 8.0 is for the 1-1 draw.
All right. Okay. Next match, Manchester United, Liverpool. Big game on Sunday. You want
Yeah,
to
definitely game of the day, this one. Yeah, I will go 3-2-1, go.
go?
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this match. I've stayed away from it in my pick for a reason. I don't know. I think, my brain tells me Liverpool will win. And then I just think, I was looking at the record, and for some reason I thought Liverpool had a better record against United. It's fairly even between wins and draws and stuff. It's fairly balanced, and you never know what United you're going to get turn up. I'm gonna go for another draw, and I'm gonna go for goals. I'm gonna go for 2-2, which are odds of 13.0 if you fancy a little wager on that. And goal scorer, I got a feeling this is another game of penalties. So I'm going to go Bruno Fernandes to score. And that actually, anytime goal scorer, Bruno is at 4.0. So there we are. 2-2 and Bruno.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go next then. I'm totally different. I don't like the goals. I think that Manchester United try to keep it calm, definitely in the beginning of the match. Look at 0-0 halftime. I think Liverpool definitely got it. Looks a little bit better. And I think Salah is gonna turn up as he always does, and Salah to score. And then Manchester try to get the goal back. Normally they can get the goal back, but this they can't. 2-0 on the counter attack in the last couple minutes, and 2-0 Liverpool win. Salah to score for 11.5.
Wow. 11.5 for the 2-0 and Salah, yeah?
Yep, that's my pick.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, that's our quick fire round then. Now we go on to our ACCA section.
Yes.
And our ACCA section, as we already alluded last week, we had a winner with a big gun ACCA at 4.21, as we mentioned. We did a student ACCA last week as well. Student ACCA is the more, fun ACCA, not really designed on, betting on definite winnings here, just a few euros, as you were when you were a student. I called a student ACCA last week. It was 32-1, and it nearly came in. Only Middlesbrough let us down for the 32-1 debut podcast student ACCA win last week.
Ouch.
Absolutely gutted with that. And Middlesbrough, I can tell you now, they're already on my naughty list. The first team this season to go on my naughty list is Middlesbrough. Unbelievable. And they got absolutely spanked by Stoke in the Carabao Cup the other night as well. And I've read a stat that they are the team at the moment that are the worst performing against their expected goals. So their XG, what their XG is, they are like the complete opposite. It's crazy what they're not scoring and what they're conceding with very little. So they're on my naughty list. They let us down for the 32-1 student ACCA last week with a 2-2 draw at home to Portsmouth. Absolutely gutted on that. But anyway, let's go again. Student ACCA. This one's a 20-1 shout. And it's also 7 teams like it was last week. And I've got Arsenal, Manchester City, Aston Villa, Celtic, Bolton in League One, Juventus, and Napoli. Okay, so that's 7 teams. Some of them we've already mentioned anyway. And
Hopefully they can all keep away from your naughty list.
20-1. Well, there's no one on my impending naughty list out of that list, so they're all safe even if they do mess up. But yeah, they will be noted. They will be noted. But anyway, that's the 7-team student ACCA, 20-1. Let's have a bit of fun and see if it comes in. On to the big gun, the big gun ACCA. This is your baby. This is your baby. Tell us, what have you got for us this week?
Yeah, last week we had the winner. This week it was a little bit tougher to make the list as long and the odds as high. I just want to continue the streak of a win. So this time I only picked four teams, but they are all big teams. They're all playing at home. The form looks good. The opponents look a little bit weaker. If you add them all together, you get a little bit above evens. I think it's up on Friday night, Fenerbahce to win in Turkey. Oh. Then we go to Spain. We have 2 matches there. Barcelona to win and Real Madrid to win their match. So both big favorites for the title gonna get a win. And last but not least, PSV. There are a lot of rumors and talks about loads of transfers, but they just keep on winning. They won, I think, 7-1 last weekend. So I think they were 2-0 up. They got a goal against them, 2-1. And I was thinking like, ooh, gonna be a little bit of a scare. And then I just blinked my eyes and then they scored 4 goals. So it's gonna be the last one of the pick. And if you add them all together, you can get them above evens. Let's continue the streak.
The even money for those 4 teams. Now, look, this is what we were saying earlier. Like, you can still get some good wins off these big guns. And I never want to use the expression free money because nothing's free money. But bloody hell, Fenerbahce, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and PSV. I mean, I can't even see where the slip up might come. That's a dangerous thing to say, but that seems solid to me. Very, very solid. Fenerbahce at home. They're all at home, yeah?
Yeah, they're all at home. Let me second check, but they're all at home.
Yeah, Fenerbahce are definitely at home because I remember looking at that for a pick as well, but the odds are too short.
Barca is playing at home to Valladolid. Real is playing at home to Betis on Sunday night. And PSV is playing against a lovely name in Holland, Go Ahead Eagles.
Go Ahead Eagles. I love that team.
Lovely name.
Lovely name. Yeah, I mean, look, Real Madrid haven't started off the season on fire, have they? I mean, it's not
No, but
quite gelling for them just yet, but like they've already had their little slip up. They can't afford to do draws and stuff. So you just imagine they'll keep winning. Barcelona looking solid. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm definitely going to get onto that for even money. So let's go. Big Gun Aka. Big Gun
okay,
Aka.
big gun Aka.
What's next?
Now on to the last section, or almost the last section. It's the bet of the week.
Yes.
I think we talked about this match before, and it's your bet of the week. Do you want to say a little bit more
Yeah,
about your
my
pick?
yeah, my bet of the week is we've already spoken about it, so I don't need to do any more with that. My bet of the week this week is Juventus at 1.73. Just for those that didn't listen last week, we're going to have a little bit of a tally of our bet of the weeks throughout the season. It's a little competition, me against Rob. We both called correctly last week with our bet of the weeks. He had Aberdeen, as we mentioned before. I had Atletico Madrid last week, so we are one. And my bet of the week versus him this weekend is Juventus.
Okay, good bet of the week. I just want to make sure if we end up in a draw, we will start looking at the odds, right? Who's the winner?
Oh yeah, we can do that as like a goal difference, if you like, yeah, to separate us, definitely. But look, obviously, what we would love for our listeners is that we both get these right every single weekend, and it is a draw. And we're at the end of the week with how many weeks? with something like 30 all. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Okay, now
So
on to
what's yours this week? What's
my
your bet of the week?
my bet of the week is Fortuna Sittard to beat NEC. It's a game played in Holland, in the Netherlands.
Mhm.
I saw last week we picked NEC to win against Zwolle. I watched most parts of that match, and they didn't impress me at all. Um, Even like Zwolle is definitely a contender to go down this season, but they had most of the ball, and they had lots of possession. They're trying to make something happen, and NEC is just didn't look like they know what they were doing out there. Then 60, 70 minute, I'm not sure. Zwolle got a red card, and that changed the game, and resulting in for us a good result. NEC got the win in I think the 85th minute, and they scored a lovely goal to get the 3 points. But this week, I think they're gonna lose. They're gonna play against Sittard, who are off to a great start. They won 2 matches. They didn't play last week because their game got postponed because they had to play Ajax, and Ajax playing in Europe, so they got some extra time off. So Sittard, great start. They had loads of transfers this year. It's definitely a team where loads of players come in every year, loads of players go out every year, and they come from all abroad. They have the key player is Halilovic. I really love him. He used to play as a youth player for, I think, even Dinamo Zagreb, and he played for Barcelona. But the guy is very talented, but yeah, actually he's too good for this level. But yeah, I think he doesn't have probably the mentality to play at those bigger teams all the time. So he went down to Sittard, like a little bit of a journeyman. But he's already scored a goal this time, and they're playing at home, and I think they're gonna win. Good odds, 2.3. I found them. So my bet of the week is Fortuna Sittard to win.
That's brave. Well, I bet of the week at 2.3. That's confidence for you there, and I don't doubt it being in Holland. Okay, guys, that brings us close to the end of the podcast. Certainly in terms of our football picks for the weekend. Okay. However, look, we are out there at the moment on social media. We are putting on daily posts. Rob, where can people find us on the socials?
We are on the socials. Our name is The Betting Connection. You can find us on X, on Instagram and Facebook, and even on Threads. So definitely give us a shout, follow us, give us a like, or maybe comment on our post. And you can find a lot of more bets as well, not only football, but you can also find tennis. And yeah, we had a great start with the tennis season, so definitely take a look at that. US Open is going on. I think we had two underdogs winners on Tuesday. So we're off to a great start. Take a look at us for sure.
Yeah, look, it's been very modest there, guys. We have got a tennis expert in our ranks, and it's not me. So yeah, Rob is our tennis guy. He explained briefly last week his tennis background, and yeah, look, this week especially, we've been putting out a lot of picks, football and tennis, and we've had a very successful week. We had a great podcast with football last weekend, and the US Open has started very, very well. So look, guys, get on it, follow us, make some comments. We'd like to see the ones, the bets that you're putting on as well. We'd love to see that. So if you've got your bets, you're putting bets on, you're following, or even if you've got your own bets that we're not picking, let us know what they are. We love to hear recommendations ourselves. So yeah, hope to see you all guys in the comments.
Okay, thanks for listening. Happy bettings.
Thanks for listening, guys. And yeah, this will be available on your normal places to go for your podcast, Apple and Spotify. And yeah, let's hope for a successful weekend. And we'll speak to you guys again next week.